Hi folks, so quite often in these videos I feel that I'm giving quite a lot of advice and maybe not showing some of the mistakes that I've made. So here's a video about one of the mistakes that I'm fixing just now that I should have been on top of. So this video is about chain wear and wear on your cassette, and I'm going to be using this tool, chain checking tool, to show you that I've left it far too long. So I've got my bike up on my stand just now, and when I'm cycling around the Pyrenees, what I'm finding is that because the hills are quite steep, I'm either in some very easy gears, or I'm spinning out on the downhills and just coasting down because you're actually putting on your brakes. So I'm very rarely using some of the smaller sprockets on the back. But what I have noticed when cycling in groups is that I'm worked down the cassette quite a lot more because of drafting with other individuals and having a higher average speed. And I started hearing some clonking. So I'll give you a listen. So in this, not too bad. I worked down the gears. It's okay still, but pop down a couple more. You can start to hear a little bit. And go down to the final one. Okay, you can hear a little bit of a jump happening just now. And if I start to crank up the speed, that clunky noise. So, what's actually happening is all of the jockey wheels and things are fine, they're all clear, there's no rubbing in here. But if you imagine the number of teeth that come out of the shade, number of teeth that are actually connected with the chain on the smaller sprockets are a lot less than the number of teeth connected at the top. So it's a 32 on the biggest cog, and it's an 11 on the bottom. So probably only about half to a third of the teeth are actually connected here. So you're looking at about 5 teeth connected in. Sorry, it's constantly losing focus. You're losing about 5 of the teeth, using about 5 of the teeth here. So what we're going to do, chain checking tool, and the wider side is 0.75. So I'm going to use the 0.75 side. All you do, connect it in, clear my fingers out of the way, connect it into one side, and then you drop it down on the other side, and if it pops in, you've worn your chain. Now actually, where this should be, it should be hitting that next link. So it should be, undo this a little bit, it should be tapping, it should be tapping on the next link here. And actually the chain's so worn that it's not only not just dropping into here, it's starting to tap, on the roller of, starting to tap in the roller of the next link. Way too worn. Oops. So I've done a bit of internet shopping, and I've got a new chain that's arrived and a new cassette as well, because they're both going to be requiring replacing. So that's my confession as to what I've what's the word, maltreated, missed out. I'll change it and I'll show you any key things from changing. Okay, cheers. Okay, so continue the video. The wheel's off. This is actually a different wheel. I've imagine this is the same one. The reason is I've got a new tripod microphone set up, so it was pretty difficult to do the videoing with the holding the camera etc in one hand and trying to do the videoing. So here's my spare wheel, the one that's from the bike that's on the turbo. just talk you through what you actually then have to do to change the cassette. So zooming in, quick release, and then the cassette. So quick release comes off, and just look after the spare end, and then you need a couple of tools. So here's the selection of 3 tools. So one of them is called a chain whip, big spanner, and this little device that goes into the cassette. So I'll zoom in and just show you how this is set up. Okay, so going into cassette, here, take that little nut and run the spike through the centre where the quick release was. Then you want to make sure that it goes in so that the splines on it, the little grooves, are sat in the locking nut. Then you take your big spanner and adjust it to the right size. Here we go. And then you loosen it off. Problem is, this thing moves. So if you try and loosen it off, it's going to turn. This is where the chain whip comes in. So this allows you to hold onto the cassette this way. Let's use this big guy, and you turn. Basically, you lever these 2 things in opposite directions. So you hold this steady or push it to the opposite side that you're using the big spanner, and it will pop the locking nut, which is at the end of your cassette, loose. Take that off, slide everything out, and you're done. That's the cassette off. Reverse the process to fit your new cassette. So take the cassette block, put it on, put the locking nut on, use these guys, put this in, and then you won't require this because you're turning it against the force of what normally holds it steady. You can use it if you want, but it's not required. That's it. That'll change it. Cool. All right. On so I just wanted to show you the chain. When I've talked about a missing link, it's not up here, it's in the chain, or a magic link or a joining link. Depends what. So this is a KMC chain. Zoom in here and let you see it. At the top in this packaging, do it this way. In the top here, you'll see a couple of individual links that you can use to join the chain together. So it's a little picture in here. Missing link, and you can see that you link in these 2 sections and then pull them taut, and they'll pop into place. That allows you to join the chain super easy, which is useful. The way you break a chain to get it off, if you can't get the missing link, use this contraption, which is a chain breaker. So you put the chain into these grooves, and then simply screw. To get it in, you'll need this pin out. Screw this pin in, and it forces one of the rivets out of the chain, and then you can just simply pull your chain apart and pull it off your bike. So when you're taking off the old chain, use one of these guys, and then when you're putting it back on, you can put the link together and then just pull it apart, or you can use your pedals, put some force through it, pedal the bike when it's on the ground, push, 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 pop. Lots of videos online for this. Alright, cool. Okay, cool. So change is done. That's the new sprockets on the bike, and the new chain fitted, so measured up against the old one. And on here you should be able to see where the quick link is attached. Somewhere. Gosh, it's hiding. Here we go. So this one is the quick link that's clicked in. And just to listen to the difference with the chain that's working, sorry, kids in the background. Sounding much better, which is good result. Everything fixed. Hope that's helpful. All right, thank you.